It's Saturday, the 18th of January, 2025, and it is just about 7 o'clock in the morning. So I've got the black Norton on the lift, and I've decided I am going to lift the head off of the bike. It's got an oil leak. The commentary on the request for input yesterday was predominantly, if you go far enough down to reach the bolts to retorque them, it's another half hour to pull the head off, which goes hand in glove with my thinking. I'm just gonna take her down, take the head off, and see why it's leaking. It's usually around the push rod holes when we have leaks like this, so let's take it down and find out. I've had this bike in here before. I put the alternator on it, Alton starter on it. The owner loads his bike and rides his bike. So the hardest part about taking the head off is getting that silly stock air filter out of there. What can you say about that air filter other than it is extremely difficult to take out and put back on? So maybe if I drop the engine, it'll make it easier to get to. That's a good point. I'm going to drop the engine down, so I will wait to take the air cleaner off after I've dropped the engine by pulling the front ISO bolt. So I'm estimating about 2 hours to take the lid off the engine. It's 7 o'clock now. I will do regular updates during the next couple of hours, see how well this goes, how fast this goes, and what I see on the way. So that's what we're going to do today. I've got this little warmer down there going, and there's little Spunky. And he's about 10 years old. He's a rescue, and he's just as cute as can be and the most lovable thing you ever want to know. So get all Spunky. And that little heater down there is one of those ceramic jobby doos, and it blows heat. And I've had it going for about an hour, and the shop is warm. So it's kind of nice. So once again, gonna yank the head off, starting at 7 o'clock. Eat 1, 2, 3, go, and see how long it takes to get a head off of a Norton. All right, left side cover pulled off, fuse removed, seat removed, tank removed. 10, 12 minutes. And this is why we say a lot and laugh a lot, Kevin and I, 5-minute job. Taking an exhaust pipe off is a 5-minute job. You loosen the head nut. You could loosen the connector on the pipe to the muffler. I tried that. This one's frozen on there, so that didn't work. So the next thing to do is take out these 2 bolts, rubber pads, rubber shock absorbers, and just take the whole pipe off. That's actually my preferred method because it gets the pipe out of the way. Both of these rubbers broke free from their internal securing. This is the internal securing, and it's right here. And both of them broke free. The only way I got this off was with the hacksaw to go from the bottom and cut through the middle of this one. The top one accidentally came off for some reason. Anyway, this is the other half of this one. And I had to cut this off, and now I'm going to clamp it here and take this off. And you can see that it's quite tight for some reason. I don't know what, but that nut doesn't belong on this shock absorber. So it takes a little effort. And this is why when people ask for an estimate, what do you think it'll cost to do something, anything on these 50-year-old bikes? I tell them I can't do that. Look at that. I don't, probably Loctited. I don't know why. And there it goes. Okay. So, all right, the other one. So that's the bottom one. What I had to do to get it off. Now let's go over here and take a look at this one over here on the top. I'll put you over here and zoom you in so you can see the joy I'm going through with that top one. Let's see if I can break it free. I'll try to put you out here where my arms won't get in the way. One of my great failings in doing these is getting my arms in the way. Let's get this one out. I may end up cutting it. Let's see. First of all, let's just try holding the rubber. Well, in this case, isn't that wonderful? It's actually coming off. All right. I'll replace both of these. Actually, I'll replace all four of them on both sides because I expect to have just as much fun on the other side as I had on this side. And you can see that this one is, let me see if you can see it. Here, where am I? I'm going to zoom in now. Okay. You can see where this one's starting to come apart too. So, these get replaced. Yeah. 5-minute job. A little bit of shop humor. It's 5 to 8, and that's the progress I've made. Let's take this pipe off, see how it goes. And this side came off relatively easily because the end completely broke off this one. It was broken off when I went to take it off. The whole thread assembly is just snapped right off of there. So that one went really easy. Now all I have to do is replace all 4 of these rubbers because I don't trust any of them. Well, welcome back. This is the other side. This is the right side muffler, and yay, verily, this one came off easy because it was broken off. This one happened to unscrew easily, which is a wonderful thing. Now I'm trying to take the other side off, and I don't know if you can see or not, as I try to take it off, the whole thing's turning, and if I hold it, it's not unscrewing. Yeah, well, this one is. Never mind. I'm going to stop complaining about that. This one actually is unscrewing. This guy, on the other hand, let's see if I can hold him. No, I don't think so. No, I'm holding the rubber, and the nut and the shaft are both turning. And it just broke free. So, never mind. I'm going to stop my belly aching. This one came off. I will undoubtedly delete this particular video. All right, it's, let's see, what is it? It is 8:30, so I've been working on this an hour and a half. The gosh, electronics are out of the way, air cleaner's out of the way. It's a lot easier with the engine tilted forward. It's a lot of trouble to tilt it forward. You've got to take the head steady off. But boy, it ought to make this going back together easier. If I can remember to put the air cleaner on before I put the engine up, that'll make life easier. So at this point in time, I'm going to pull the carburetors off, and then I'll be ready to pull the head off. And pulling the carbs, that's basically the hardest part of the job. So here I go. All right, carbs are off. I modified this little Allen wrench. I cut it down really, really short. I ground away at the throat right in this area, and I beveled the edges so that it'll slip into the Allen bolts that hold the manifolds on. I prefer to take the manifolds off the carbs off with the manifolds. Then if I'm going to do any carb work, I can take them off the manifolds a lot easier on the bench. So a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. When you're taking carbs off a bike, you can take the manifolds off, you can take the carbs off. Either way, it's a pain. But if you get the two outers and then one of the inners, you can drop that carb out of the way and get the other inner really easy. So anyway, we are now at the point where the head could be lifted, but I'm going to take the rocker covers off and release the pressure on all the rockers before I even start to do that. That's where we are at 8:45. All right, it's 10 to 9, just a few minutes since I made that last video. I pulled the covers off and I undid all the adjusters, and they're all cranked out all the way flush with the bottom of the rocker arms, and got lots of slack in these and lots of slack in that over there. Can you see that? But I don't have any slack at all in this exhaust rocker. I mean, it's still solid as a rock, and I've got the adjuster completely out in my hand, and it's still down against the valve. That doesn't seem right. I can't say I've ever seen that before. So that's just a heads up. I found something here I don't really understand. That should not be far enough down to be pressing against that valve right now. So anyway, I'll park this here and start lifting the head off. But I wanted you to see that. And any opinions on this I would absolutely love, because I've taken a lot of heads off, but I've never ever noticed anything like this. Maybe it's just, I don't think it should ever go that far down. I just don't. So, any opinion on the situation? Well, we're going to find out pretty quick if there's something radically wrong as soon as I get the head off. So, let's see what we find. All right, let's pull some head bolts. Wow. Okay, fine. I'd say that's at least torqued. God, please come loose. Well, it either came loose or stripped, one or the other. pray that that just came loose. Let's go ahead and break these free. Certainly seem tight. Those are all free. So we got 1, 2, 3 free. Let's do this and these. This guy is used under here. Okay, got him. A nut, but no washer. Nut, no washer. No. 7/16. We'll get this bolt under here. Let's get this out of the way. You need to take this little insert out of the cable or search the shop for it when you go to put it back together. One or the other, because it's going to fall out. Alright, so let's see if I can get this up in here to get this hidden nut. Tickle, tickle, tickle. It's coming. Oh, it'd be so nice if I could get a socket under there. Hark! Finally. Now I get to do this side. I hope you're as bored as I am. Matter of fact, out of pity, I will stop this for a moment until we're ready to lift the head. All right, well, I'm back. I thought I'd show you a really cool tool. A cool tool. This is a little palm ratchet. It's really handy. So I've got the back nut off back here. I've got the two hidden nuts that go up under here. Take them off. The one on the other side came off a lot easier than this side. Once I broke it free, it just came out hand loosened. I'm going down to get this. Work on this side. This bolt is coming up, it's free. All right, the center bolt's out. Let's see if there's a washer down there. Not that I can feel. I put washers down there. I don't understand why there aren't washers. think there should be washers down there. Okay, at this point in time, the front three are out, the rear one is out, the two hidden ones that go up from the bottom are out. I believe that the only thing holding this head on at this point is these four head bolts. Let's pull them out. Now that head rose up by itself, meaning that it was under spring pressure from one of the valves, and I thought I had all the valves loose, except this one over here, which is still stuck. That's going to be fun finding out what's wrong with him. All right. All right, this is where the book says lift the head out gently, taking the push rods with it. I am going to lift the head gently, taking the push rods with it. Oh, you don't know the fun. Trying to get the head off of push rods. There's undoubtedly an easier way. I could use this guy hook to hold this up. That would work. Oh, Kevin, where are you? Stand by. I gotta think this through. I've done this so many times and it's never been easy. Never. So you can just get one set of push rods up far enough to tilt the head like that. Any suggestions? Be my guest. There has to be a better way. And in all the the years I've done this, I've never found it. But once again, I told you I'm a creature of habit. I do something one way, and I do it that way for the rest of my life. This guy out of here. I think I'm going to get him. There you go. That gives me two. At this point, I can lift the head off. Ah. Once again, if you have a better way, I'm open to suggestions. Okay, I'll bring the camera over. We can take a look at the head gasket. All right, now, if I were a head gasket and I were leaking, where would I leak from? The usual suspects are right up here, this area. It's very thin. See how thin that is? This little area right there, that's very thin. And that is a logical place to suspicion. So, but there's no way to say for sure because, you know, oil gets everywhere when you take it apart. So I'm looking at the gasket. I'm not seeing anything that would say, yes, this is where it's leaking from. And over here, looking at the head, I'm not seeing any place that screams at me, this is where I'm leaking from. So, but right now my major question, I think I'm going to have about 1,000 or 2,000 taken off this head before I put it back on the bike, just to flatten it out. My major question right now is this. This guy. Why was he the way he was? Why was he? And I don't have an answer for you at this point. Okay, at this point, we have the head off the bike, and it is 9:20. So, actually beat my estimate. Let's see, when did I start out here? 8? I have to go back and look at my own video. But I said 2 hours, and I think it's been 2 hours and the head's off the bike. So I have a lot of cleaning to do. Let's get these pistons up to the top and see what they look like. And I'll stop for a minute while I move the pistons up. All right, so it's 9:30. Here we sit with the head out. Push rods look good, bolts look good. The patina inside the combustion chamber looks nice and even. Both valves, exhaust valves, are in a nice color. This is the distribution of the nuts and bolts. These are the two big ones that come in from the bottom. And these are the 4 head bolts that go in from the top. This is the nut that goes onto the stud that I normally put a washer under. I put washers under these too. There are none. These are the 3 front ones, and I put washers under them also. There are none. I think the parts book calls for them, but I'd have to double check. But anyway, I find some. I buy some really hard, thick steel washers and put them on these studs and bolts and nuts and bolts and studs, and I don't know what all. I'll clean this up, re-anneal it, and I'm going to pull the exhaust valves out, just mainly to see that one that was sticky, that was causing me vexation. This one that just seemed weird, while now it seems just fine. I'm going to pull it out anyway and take a look at it. And I have this theory. When I put this head back on, I'm going to take these front rockers completely out and put the head back on, and then put the rockers on with the head in place, just to make it easier to position the push rods. I'm going to try that. See if it works any better. That's where we are. It's about 9:30. I have a 10 o'clock appointment, so I'm going to call it a morning. And that's the way it is.